The central most inhibiting factor, the factor that prevents, I think, creativity in any field that you happen to pursue, research, business, sales, management, anything, can be summarized in my feeling, at least my current view of things, in one word, and it's called fear. And we have an amazing fear for the unknown. And without probing into the unknown, there is no possibility of progress. If we don't go beyond what we know today, which means probing into the unknown, there is no possibility of progress. The unknown could have a benefit. When you pass on, things could really be better. I don't know. They also could be worse. We only worry because they might be worse. If we knew they would be better, we would have no fear. But we don't know. And it is that area that we don't know that we have to move ahead and go into all the time, or there is no progress.
फ्रांस में भारत के यूपीआई के उपयोग को लेकर भी समझौता हो गया है। अब मैं तो समझौता करके चला जाऊंगा, आगे बढ़ाने का काम आपका है।
In Brazil and in India, new payment systems are leapfrogging the payment systems that we have in the United States. In Brazil, it's called PIX. In India, it's called UPI, Unified Payment Interface. Using PIX or UPI, anyone can pay anyone, anytime, with a simple tap of a smartphone. I'm sure everyone has heard about Bitcoin. Now we're going to see a new kind of cryptocurrency called stablecoins entering the everyday lives of Americans. These can be used to make payments much more efficiently, especially in a setting in which you need to pay somebody in another country. For example, if a small company needs to pay a supplier in an emerging market economy, it can save up to 5% of the cost and save a lot of time by simply sending a stablecoin. Stablecoins have the potential to revolutionize payments in America.
This afternoon, we take a giant step to cement American dominance of global finance and crypto technology as we sign the landmark Genius Act into law. The Genius Act creates a clear and simple regulatory framework to establish and unleash the immense promise of dollar-backed stable coins. This could be perhaps the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the internet itself. With the privacy, flexibility, and decentralization of cash, this revolution has the potential to supercharge American economic growth and empower billions of people to save and transfer in U.S. dollars. This will increase demand for U.S. treasuries, lower interest rates, and secure the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency for generations to come. The reserve currency is so important. You know, if we lost that, that would be like losing a world war.
Okay, so I'm doing this podcast again. Arjun has probably become one of my major guests now. I think, and now Anuj, with whom probably I'm meeting like after a year, and we both worked at Wazirex. Anuj was handling public policy, and with Aritra at Wazirex, and now he's probably taken a much bigger task, which is to start a stablecoin, an Indian stablecoin to start with, which is probably a bigger task. And Arjun, we all know that he runs an Indian registered crypto exchange. And so I thought probably to get both of them and have this curious discussion, reveal further pinpoints as to how we can progress as a fraternity. So, welcome, gentlemen. I think Anuj, probably the first time we'll be doing this. We've done enough of this on Wazirex, but but this is the first time. So, how your day has been like? What is happening? Like, there's a Genius Act passed. How do you see both of you? So, first, I let Anuj this time to go. How do you see it, Anuj, for the stable coins now?
Yeah, so when it comes to Genius Act and Clarity Act, both, I believe it's a great advancement when it comes to the crypto ecosystem altogether, and particularly for US jurisdiction. So I can't say it's for India or other jurisdiction. And why they are doing it, why they are so uh, enthusiastic about it. When it comes to first stablecoin, mostly I think 97 or 98% of stablecoins are coming from like US jurisdiction, that is US backed, though they are not even registered. Even Tether is not registered in USA. Now they are coming to USA after long, but they are like US dollar backed stablecoin. Interesting point to note. Why? Because now Circle already putting their reserves in government treasury. Again, Tether will also do the same once they are registered in USA. Interesting point to catch, 75% of these stable coins being used by non-US folks. That means the other countries, not US itself. So that means they are going to give US a boost, particularly US dollar a boost, right? In this ecosystem, and who is literally become a customer, right? We are again falling behind, become a customer to a tech, right? Not we are not like innovative friendly country, I would say. We have a lot of folks, right? But you have to go abroad if you want to do innovation, right? This is
Yeah,
what
true.
happening in the Web3 ecosystem right now.
So hold on. I mean, I've got your views. Now I've moved to Arjun. And now, how can we be innovative and a little courageous to take that step further? Like you're seeing in startup like Anuj, which he started an INR stablecoin. So how do you see it now?
See, I think crypto is all about courage, right? Almost a lot of things that we do in India are in the gray area, right? There are no clear regulations, but we are very clear that whatever we are doing is not illegal, right? But we have been taking baby steps in trying to provide as many products, as many features as possible within the limitations, right? So the stablecoin uh, has been, what to say, something that has been of interest for a long, long time for me, because I think Bitfinex launched Tether, right? Because the first major use case of a stablecoin was for exchanges, right? Especially offshore exchanges, which many of them don't have USD bank accounts, right? To allow arbitrage between offshore exchanges, USDT solved a huge problem, right? And liquidity attracts liquidity. So no matter how many problems Tether has faced, like the Bitfinex Twitter threads and all those things, people want convenience irrespective of like the security issues and all those things, right? And so I was seeing it. And in parallel, right, 2018, when we started Geotest, one of our core beliefs was crypto will become inevitable, right? There's going to be so much adoption that Indian government at some point is going to just allow it, because crypto is freedom, right? In a sense, you would want to, I mean, how do you stop people from purchasing a digital asset, right? It's going to be very difficult to implement. And I think this is how it's going to happen, and that's why we took this bet of starting an exchange. But stable coins perspective, even from 2018 to till date, right, I have always seen RBI against crypto, right? They have not changed the stance, right? uh, Individually for certain points they might have a difference in opinion over the years, they have changed, but overall they have been against crypto, anti crypto. So US also, I was thinking, should be anti-crypto, because Bitcoin came as a challenger for US dollar, right? They said, why do you want to go for fiat, right? We need to have a non-fiat, something that doesn't lose value. There should be contained inflation. There should be no centralized authority and all those things. And it was a challenger for USD, in the sense it's similar to gold. At some point, trades will happen in Bitcoin and people will not need US dollar anymore, right? And then it's almost like a game theory problem, right? And you see that US takes two steps forward and says, we are going to lead world in crypto, right? We are going to co-opt it. And so so basically people say, right, when you cannot fight, you just join and say you are actually behind it, right? Something on those lines. So it's very surprising. Now I thought Indian stablecoins should never ever be possible, because RBI will be totally against it, right? Look at in India today, to start a bank, there are so many regulations. Reliance for a long time has been looking to start a bank. Right? Tata has been looking to start a bank. They have not been allowed, because RBI is very, very clear who should do something, right? What rights they have. They have like different structures like NBFCs. small banks, small finance banks, payment banks, and all those categorization. Now, suddenly, how will they allow someone to create a parallel structure and allow this? But then, if
But
you look
hold
at the
on, hold
fundamental,
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Here, this is where the roads, I think probably we need to mend,
no, no,
right?
just let me complete
Okay,
that
okay,
one
sure,
point.
sure, sure, sure.
Yeah. So this is where I thought like then RBI's biggest concern, this thing has been dollarization, right? How do they stop dollarization? Then I look at, okay, then the actual solution has to be INR stablecoin, right? CBDC, of course, they have launched it. It has some takers and everything, but probably to create as much innovation as possible, as much adoption as possible for INR, not just within India, outside India for cross border and everything within exchanges, within the DeFi ecosystem. If crypto becomes mainstream, you need to have a crypto equivalent of INR, right? So it looks like the logical conclusion of this journey that crypto has had in the 15,
Yeah,
16 years.
but we have this
Yeah,
man, Anuj, right? He's creating the INR stablecoin. We'll all be after him, right? So he's the one. He has a very important startup. So my now next question is now see, South Korea was also making the CBDC, and they've paused it, and they are now focusing towards stablecoin, right? Given their geopolitical things or whatever, but they've also got a shift in their mindset. Like India is being critical, that's good, but South Korea has now started being a little creative, you know, to what they have. You have to make adjustments around how the world is moving by, right? So on that note, I have a question like now to both of you. How would an Indian rupees backed stablecoin enhance India's monetary sovereignty? Now both of you. Anuj, you go first. I mean, probably since you are the king here.
Uh, I would say not exactly king as of now, right? So let me tell you a quick backstory about this, how I came to this decision. It's not like very new, right? I shared this idea with you while we were working together, right, Archit, with
Yeah,
WazirX,
yeah,
when we had some meetings,
yeah,
and then we decided,
yeah.
okay, yeah, there should be an INR-backed stablecoin. No one from India is working on it. And then I decided, like, why do we need it? There are like number of reasons I can count right away. One, there is again dollarization that RBI mentioned in its own research report that US dollar backed stablecoins are causing dollarization. Second, there is a huge markup fee that we are paying because all these merchants, USDT merchants selling their cryptos in India, right? They are literally making a lot of money. Sometimes it goes from 5% margin, they are making to 15% during the volatile day. We have seen that, right? Buying USDT from 90 INR to 100 INR. It's crazy. Third, P2P scam. If someone is getting scammed, you don't have executive from Tether, you don't have executive from Circles. Whom do you gonna reach out? Cyber police. They are still not that. I would say
Tech savvy.
not that well versed with the tech, right? They can't like help you. So I believe that right now government will have like a lot of things. For example, like Circle, INR backed stablecoin can also put their reserves into treasury, RBI's treasury. That is one. Second, it will help Indian businesses, right? Because it's going to be fully compliant within India, right? There are lesser risk if I compare to the other jurisdiction guy coming to India and selling stablecoins. So the company is gonna like already I registered my company in India, right? And already applied for FIU, already met FIU team. So I believe that right now is a crucial time. Like it's like a quick shift.
I have this philosophy like we have the largest diaspora abroad, right? So many Indians outside, and our own country is so big, right? So if you have to send money to your grandpa or to your cousins, right, it'll be so easy with the INR stablecoin. Am I right, or am I just being over calculating things?
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
why are we not making this happen? Like, I just want to know. I mean, why are we not doing it? Like, I mean, we have
See,
so many, crypto innovators in the summits and everything. There's so many summits. Like, I mean, so like, it's an opportunity, right? Am I being wrong here? Because I have a crypto exchange founder, I have a stablecoin founder. Am I being wrong here, or I'm thinking
yeah.
right?
So there are like some compliances issue. What I see that border payments, right? So I think when it comes to like doing it legally, right now, because there would be FEMA coming into the picture, right? When the money is traveling through other channels that are not being under the control of RBI. So I think Arjun can tell you more about FEMA, like how crypto is still struggling, having no such regulation in place. It's still whenever like ED is knocking the door and coming up
No,
with
you
the
take the
FEMA.
bad. My point is, you take the bad actors out. There is a huge
Yeah,
profit to be made.
exactly. But like you are afraid, like even the genuine players are afraid, like how I'm gonna cope up with ED, how I'm gonna like literally gonna be fully FEMA compliant. So I think Arjun can share more on this.
No, before going to Arjun, let me do your
Yes.
interrogation. As
Yeah.
I must do, because then people would say that
Yes.
probably, they're friends, they're buddies, and I'm promoting you and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have two questions to you, which,
Yes.
so like, Anuj, what problem does your stablecoin solve that existing stablecoins do not? First of all.
Yes. Yeah. So I already mentioned three, right? I mentioned about we are gonna bring the markup fee down, right? And that markup fee literally can be like cut by 50 to 60% easily, because we're paying very high margins, right? When we're buying and selling. And on to then P2P scams. This is very like Indian users are like very worried. They are like, many of them stop trading because of P2P scam. And how this scam happening? These scams are happening through USDT or USDC, right? On Tron blockchain or other blockchain, where you will find. So this is one. Another issue that we are going to solve, if RBI stick to the CBDC, we can provide a use case to the CBDC, right? We can also have those wallets connected to INR platform, like INRC platform. You can convert your CBDC to a stablecoin easily, right? This is one use case that is still not there, right? So because right now RBI CBDC is finding for use cases, literally struggling, right? They have imposed it on banks to open these applications, CBDC applications, but who are using those applications? So these are the like few critical ideas.
They're not much sales, right? So
because you need something. Sorry to cut you. You need something like solid use case. If
you need
want
something
to,
like Ethereum or some solid use case. I mean, you need something like which is saleable, right? A product is saleable,
yes,
right? So
there should be some utility
okay,
behind it.
Arjun, my ideal case is if crypto has to go India's way, we need Anuj's company stablecoin, INR stablecoin, to transact at GOTS to buy a L1 token, correct? L1 coin, sorry. That will be an ideal Indian scenario for in a crypto world where India thrives with innovation, correct? Or maybe you buy tokens
So
by using.
this is one.
Huh.
Yeah, this is one. The second could be the Web3 projects coming to India, building from India. We can also provide them liquidity in INR backed stable.
Yes.
So there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, my next question to Anuj. What's your model? What's your model for a stable coin? Like, is it an algorithmic stable coin? Like, what is the model that it's following?
No, it's going to be fully fiat backed. So not the algo one, because we saw what exactly happened with the algo.
Yeah. The Terra Luna.
Exactly. The Terra Luna case we have seen. But why fiat back? Again, because it's very simple, right? We have seen that how Circle is doing it. It's more than a decade for Circle, right? In the game. And they are like fully compliant and working very well in the sync with the government, right? But I'm not saying that Indian government is as similar to as US government when it comes to providing those platforms like they provided to Circle. But what we can do, what I can do myself, I already created 3 reports. One, compliances for stablecoin in India. Second report was demand for stablecoin in India. And third was the tech flow for a stablecoin, right? If you want to build in India. And these reports like give you a quick picture of whole ecosystem, stablecoin ecosystem, and how you can build it and where to go, where not to go. The only case when I was consulting to a legal agency that is Pune based, and I asked them to reach out to SEBI and RBI. The hiccups are here, right? Even the legal guys, they told me they SEBI and RBI should be the folks who should look at it, right? First. Then they reached out, and there was like literally replies from that we don't have any sort of regulation for this product. You should go to FIU. That's the only place for you. Just get registered yourself. So there is no licenses, nothing, or no note from SEBI or RBI. But what we did, at least we reached out to them. We are not avoiding compliances. We are like making sure like it should be fully compliant, fully fiat backed, stable coin, helping government grow, helping CBDC grow, helping all the Indian users not paying 10% or 15% extra while transacting USDT or USDC or other US dollar backed stable coin.
Arjun, how do you see this? Like, what are the threats that if a national stablecoin is launched, INR pegged? Like, what are the threats? Like, why is the government getting scared? But the whole thing is like they also need to keep an eye on the whole new financial landscape which is being built right now, right? So, like, why do you think that there's a threat, or what are the threats?
I mean, think of 1990s India when probably, or like 1980s India, where BSNL was the only telecom, or BSNL and VSNL are the only two duopolies and completely controlled by government. And government is making some amount, and the government is able to completely have control on what is being spoken, what is being transmitted. Right? Recently, they started cutting internet in JK and all these sensitive areas. They feel they want to be in control, government, right? But at some point, you have things like internet that comes parallelly. It doesn't come through official channels. It's just that people start using it, and one day you realize this is not within your control, and you stop policing it, and you just start having certain rules and let it free. I think that is how technology becomes pervasive. So as long as it takes, they will try to keep everything in control. It's almost like your kid, right? Till even if the kid might be 20 years old, but as a father, you will think I have to take some decisions for him. The kid is not ready, not ready, not ready, and you want to keep completely within your this thing. But I think there are certain jurisdictions which are very, what to say, bold, and they also are allowed to be bold because they're pretty small. Like take Dubai for example, or Singapore for example, or Hong Kong. Right? Hong Kong is an experiment place for experiment for China. Right? They can do a lot of things in Hong Kong without having the rest of the country take into it. So probably stable coins as a limited use case, government should start exploring, right? Probably for one use case, like already crypto is there, right? So the funny fact is, right, the things about FEMA, right? RBI said crypto is not FEMA. So probably he is better off when someone is better off transferring INR stablecoin outside rather than transferring INR. When he transfers INR, when he breaches his FEMA limits and everything, people can get into trouble. But these are all legal things, right? So the also the problem is government doesn't want to come up with a piecemeal solution. They have done it for problems where they have clear answers. For example, taxation, advertisement guidelines, FIU for PMLA guidelines. They know that they can take that almost exact same thing and apply, and they don't have to tweak too much. But for stable coins, for cryptocurrencies, for crypto exchanges, they have to think fresh, right? Do we need to have a regulator? What is allowed, what's not allowed? And the biggest problem is it's not compatible with the existing system, right? I have more questions for Anuj in the sense, would the wallets have to be KYC'd, right? Typically, with respect to bank, when you hold INR in digital form, you hold it through a KYC solution, right? Banks, RBI is very comfortable with it. So with respect to stable coins, can non-Indians have stable coins, use stable coins? What is it? So the thing is, answer is not yes or no, but they have to have a process to think about this, right? Someone has to take a decision, right? How can they take a decision? It's like a huge decision, right? Whether you allow non-Indians to do this or not do this, and it can have implications for next 10-15 years. For example, if you take US dollar in 1960s, they made this new thing called euro dollars, right? Dollars issued outside US, right? So that is how London became what it is, like the financial hub of the world, right? There is this whole documentary called Spider's Web, why tax havens and everything came into picture. But it's a significant decision to allow issuance of dollar outside this thing, right? With respect to INR stablecoins, I always thought the stablecoins will come outside India and probably in an algorithmic manner. That way, Anuj may not need to hold a bank account in India. He's away from regulations. You have a synthetic product that is equivalent of INR, but of course, it comes with its own risks, but at least compliance wise, it may not be a trouble. Anuj need not even be based out of India, right? But Anuj is doing it the hard way, just like we are also doing it the hard way, right? Even for crypto exchanges for that matter, it looks very easy to run a crypto exchange for India outside India rather than having been inside India. right? And just do a P2P. You don't have to have lien marks. You don't have to go and meet regulators. You don't have to think of a ban happening and all those things, right? There are so many problems that are there. But I think being early also has an advantage if it gets regulated as an exchange, right? We are in a very good foundation. We have established a solid foundation. Same thing with Anuj. One last thing, right? So I always think why stable coins would succeed, right? Think of a shop vendor right now showing a QR code, right? He has to go open a bank account, also maintain minimum balance, all those, this thing. KYC will take a week's time, and he has to go talk to someone for the manager. He has to stand in the queue and all those things. And after all that, once the account is open, again he has to make an application, get that QR code and everything. Think of Bitcoin, right, or a stable coin, right? I create a trust wallet or a MetaMask wallet or a Ledger Tracer, right? And after that, 2 minutes, I take a printout, I show the QR code, I start accepting money, right? I don't have to talk to anyone. I don't have to have permission. It's almost like how people create email ID, how people create WhatsApp accounts, how people create Facebook. It's as easy. It's so convenient, right? That is why when stablecoins and CBDC and INR are going to be there, stablecoins are going to have more adoption because it's frictionless experience and it is created for the modern world for millennials, people who are born and
True.
bred in internet.
Very true.
This
Very
is
true.
very
Very
native.
true.
This is very
Very
native
true.
experience. So eventually people will move on to this, right? That is why RBI is afraid, right? They want to have as much as volume
Control.
transaction happening within the entities that they
Framework.
have 100% control,
Right.
not with
Okay.
entities or systems that are 30% in control or 40% in control, right?
Right.
Uh,
Right.
one more thing, if you want to add, I had a chance to talk to someone who is in the business of gift cards, right? One of the first ever gift cards launched in India. So at that point of time, RBI did not have many licenses. They had only a closed loop license or an open license, right? So they had this prepaid instruments, right? So they thought gift card should come under prepaid instruments. In prepaid instruments, you need to do a KYC, right? So when you are buying a gift card, right, do you have to do the KYC of the receiver or the sender? There's so many complications, right? No one would, like I'm saying, Archit, I'm going to give you a 5,000 rupees gift card. Can you give me your PAN card and Aadhaar card so that I do the KYC and give you the gift card? Can never ever happen, right? Then RBI understood, then they created this thing, and then finally said, okay, KYC is not required as long as the money comes in via KYC instruments, right? You either put it through cards or bank accounts so that cash, basically they avoided cash, and that way gift cards escaped from being coming under the ambit of RBI regulations or having KYC for that matter, right? So government side, it's very complicated. They have to take decisions they have a huge backlog, right? They cannot be like startup, like forget everything today, start from scratch, no more tech backlog. So they have a compliance backlog. They have been working certain way. They have LRS limits, this, that, and they're very used to it. So it's almost like 1990s when they have to dismantle the entire structure. And did they dismantle? Actually, 50% or 30% of the red tape is still there, right? They thought they are dismantling it, but governments, in a way, whatever they talk, every word they utter, it kind of becomes another step in compliance, right? So I think that is where we are. Eventually, it will happen, not because RBI wants it or Indian government wants it. It just happen because people want it and people find it more convenient, and convenience wins in the long term.
Right. But it's about responsibility. I get it, Arjun. But I think if you see the world from a top angle position, here US is getting dollarization because of stable coins, correct? And they have Circle, they have immense amount of stable coins which are going to increase dollarization without any doubts. I mean, Bitcoin we can negate. I mean, it's an innovation which, I mean, maybe Peter Thiel could probably answer that. But the thing is that if you look at China, they are blocking the entire crypto and betting it on digital yuan. What is India betting on? Are we betting on UPI? Are we betting on UPI? Or should we probably start like take our chances on somebody like Anuj who's pushing a little envelope here? And we can be critical about him, but at least get him into the scheme of things. You know, like how do you
See,
see
one
it?
thing I would say, is CBDC is not a complete failure. It's a failure because UPI is there. If not for UPI, if UPI doesn't exist in India, people would be gladly using CBDC because for making payments to vendors and everything, CBDC is actually solving the same use case. That is the reason
Yeah,
why
that's what my
CBDC.
point is, because India and Brazil have a good payment system, which is UPI, and they have something I don't know, but which Stanford is giving an example of, which is fine. But is it truly an innovation? It solves a purpose. We are happy. That's great. But look at what's happening in the world in the broader scheme of things. Now the hustlers of US have gotten you into this payment system, which is blockchain based financial landscape. How are we going to push in? Because we at some point we have to press the button.
See,
At
Arjun,
some
it's very
point we
simple.
have to press the button.
See, exactly right. So it's almost like the student who keeps pushing it till the exam last date, like tomorrow I will study, tomorrow I will study, and tomorrow morning the exam is there. Okay, tomorrow morning I will study. At some point he has to do it. It will happen. I think that is how crypto regulations has been happening in India, because Trump is doing it, US is doing it, FATF is asking when we are going to do it, right? So because of all these pressures, I think we are, because it is almost like a answer that I don't want to say yes, I don't want to say no. Ban could have been very easy, right? Ban is a
Hmm.
simple thing. Government
Hmm.
could have done 10 years back. They could have done it last year, because you don't have to think of all the complex use cases, put ring fence and all those things. They did not, because crypto is taking hold of the world, right? All the developed economies have regulated crypto. But at the same time, a junior officer in RBI or a junior officer in SEBI, or even probably the head of these institutions, may not be able to take a decision on this, because it is of so much importance, right? Just like how India says we need to have a coordinated framework for crypto.
Yeah, but
Within
look at how
India
many
also there needs to be.
parliamentarians are buying Bitcoin, no? Anuj? How many
Yeah,
members of parliament are
look,
buying
yeah,
Bitcoins? Or
yeah,
so
there are like
so so so
number of
they should
MPs
think
are
about
there.
themselves also, that how to formulate a regulation if
That's
they're
why I say
buying,
that is where I'm coming to. It
either
will
you
come
ban it
top down.
completely. I say either
No,
you, I'm sorry, Arjun and Anuj, either they should say they ban crypto. As a
I'll
citizen,
add
I'm
on it.
okay. I'm sorry. But if you have to you have to start thinking on those lines, right?
I'm
I
saying that's the
mean,
solution, right? It will come top down, right? Someone somewhere from the top level, like the home minister, the PMO, the finance minister, there they think, okay, we are going to go forward in this direction, and I want all the agencies, all the governments, regulators, and everyone to align with this vision, right? They are waiting for that answer, right? I think that answer is what we are expecting in the next 1 or 2 months when the policy paper is out, right? Whether India is going to take this direction or this direction. In this direction, what are the nuances, right? Once there is a go ahead from the top, right? I think everything will fall into place. We need to take a conscious decision. Yes, we are going to regulate crypto. Then there will be
Yeah.
questions how we are going to regulate this, how we are going to look at ICOs, IPOs, stable coins, exchanges, regulator. So all those questions will get answered once we take a decision that we are going to regulate crypto, and that is what we are waiting for.
So Arjun, like if you remember back then in 2021, there's supposed to be a crypto bill tabled by the government,
You will be in
led
jail.
by Jan Sina, led by Jan Sina committee. I was there, like at the parliament. Aritra and I from Wazirex, we were representing. All other CEOs, co-founders were there. I believe we missed the Web3 India opportunity was back then. If we could have that bill passed right away, having some solid regulation back 4 years back, we could have said, hey, we are ahead than USA. Now we are like again 20 years back, bro. Again 20 years back.
no, but my problem is, Anuj, see, I'm not with the government, but my problem is we lack innovators in this space. Arjun, we've had a discussion with Arjun. His crypto exchange is the only one which is registered, right? We had the discussion, right? My problem is that we are mere follower, we are sheeps, right? If you see the whole crypto space, barring Arjun or some people who are creating, we are followers. There's nothing bad in that. I have not built something out of it. I've just reported. But my point is that when are we going to just create that L1, I mean, I did an article. I don't know how much of bricks and Moltas I'm going to get on my back. Like Nischal is the one who's creating an L1, which is Shardium. At the same time, there's this exchange saga, right? So this is how the situation is, right? So where are the original creators? I mean, you are creating an INR stablecoin. Very few are. Arjun has an Indian registered crypto exchange, which is fine. Where is an L1?
No, issue is like we should have solid town halls, like where the government one side, like government should be there, one representative from government and other stakeholders should be there, and then there should be some debates, and that debate should go on the national TV, like media.
Yeah, it should be
That,
brutal. It should be
yeah,
brutal.
it should be brutal, like
Yeah.
another group talking. It could be an echo chamber again. This is what my perspective here. Let the country know like how the government is helping innovators within India.
I think
So
all the
that should be a
discussions, I
like
mean, I'm sorry,
political
but
also. There should be a
yeah,
political debate on top of it.
it is
Yes.
because look at how it is shaping it up in the world, and I think probably all the debates should act as a charger for the founder to build something unique. My criticism is not about killing his plans. Like I've written an article for Sumit Gupta, whom I've criticized because he stood by the hack which happened, a couple of days back. But the whole thing is to debate is to probably push the founder and let him find his way. Whether it's you or whether it's Arjun.
So I think stable coins are here to stay, but I think there should be some urgency from RBI and Indian government to come up with regulations. But I think first the regulations will come, and then the stable coin related regulations will come. Right? Crypto is the father of everything. Right? They have to take a firm stance on crypto. But I think in a limited way, if they start approving stable coins like Anuj, I think it will be really helpful for government to understand what are the use cases, how it's going to get used, right? I'm looking forward to at least limited space. They should allow experiments so that they also have a first-hand understanding of what it is, how they can regulate, right? And then they can expand to
Great.
in the entire country.
I believe that I think innovation shouldn't wait for regulation, and this is what all the crypto folks are doing. They never thought of regulation and started exchanges. So I would say a different side of your perspective. Like we should go, bro. Like we should go. Like Tether and Circle, they are making business in India without having an office, and we are sitting here, registered company in India. We should go right away. We shouldn't wait for regulation. We should tell them how to regulate it. And this is the crypto exchanges are doing, coming up with the transparency report saying like how to regulate, what are the certain guidelines. And they are not providing anything. They ask you like, provide me these documentation. Are there any compliance guidelines except like FIU now? Earlier, if we thought about WazirX, right? During those days, there were no guidelines as such, right? And then 30% taxation. You are paying 30% straight away, bro. Like for what? Are there any regulation? Are there any departments, institution where this money is being invested? So, like crypto traders, crypto investors should know it, right? Where are you putting these 30% taxation that you're taking from traders? Are there any innovation hub you making? Are there any department you are making? Are there any ministry that taking responsibility to work for this ecosystem? So these are very brutal questions that should have been already asked by other politicians, right? Other MP member of parliaments, but no one is talking about it at all because it's literally killing innovation, right, within in India.
Arjun, what about you? I mean, would you ever see a person like Anuj making a INR stablecoin, putting out on your exchange, and then people of India do trading with his stablecoin? Do you see a day?
Hey, hopefully, a couple of weeks back, Robinhood also launched this tokenized stocks. It was really excited, right? So at some
Arjun, your
point, you
video
have a
is stuck. Your video
unified
is
trading
stuck.
platform where you
Your
can.
video is stuck. Yeah, now it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So last week or a week back before that, we saw Robinhood launching tokenized stocks. Of course, there was a lot of discrepancies around that launch, but that is the future, right? Probably real estate, treasuries, bonds, stocks, crypto, stable coins. I think they all should be part of Geota's platform. This is my vision for the future. And probably we should also have a decentralized version of Geotas at some point, right? Where people they don't have to share custody with us. There's going to be pure full 100% self custody, and then people just do whatever they want with their financial assets. Uh, India is going to be slow getting there, but I think we have to eventually get there, right? There's going to be enough pressure. See, also a lot of this thing is also about the democratic pressure that we put on the politicians, right, to get things done. If we can showcase that there is so much jobs that is getting created out of crypto, there's so much crypto investors, right, which is your vote base, right? End of the day, everyone acts on their own self-interest, right? So we have to show them that there is so much user base who is going to vote for you if you're going to take positive actions on crypto, if you're going to regulate positively on crypto. This is what happened in US, right? Trump had to take this crypto. Of course, he had other motives also, like making profits and everything. But ultimately, he also wanted to say that, hey, crypto investors, I am there for you. If you elect me, I'm going to be pro crypto. I'm going to bring pro crypto regulations. And frankly, there is actually no anti crypto people except for the regulator. If you look at population vote base as such, there's no anti crypto. There's only pro crypto, right? So it is not even if we show enough size, it's not even a thing to even they, in a heartbeat, they're going to say, okay, I'm going to go pro crypto. I want to be the technology first politician. Why don't we do
Right.
it?
Two questions I have here since you brought down this user case study. Sandeep Naliwal, who's building L2, we can of course criticize, and he's probably established like a good product, right? Polygon. A lot of people also say that it's not an Indian product. Nischal, with all his flaws on Wazirex, he has Shardiem. And I don't see any other layer one apart from his, but his is again been born brought up in the Dubai ecosystem. First of all, do you consider that an innovation, Nischal's Shardiem or Polygon? And my second question, which probably I've forgotten, so can you just answer that first of all?
Okay, so I have not gone technically deep into Shardiem to say if it is an innovation or not, but Polygon, at least, see, end of the day, I think innovation is in a way overrated. I think adoption is more important than innovation. If you have a crypto product that is used by millions of people, even if it is very simple, I would say it's a huge success, right? Polygon, I don't think we should even so end of the day, they got a lot of people in India inspired that, and they started out of India. And of course, right, for any major product, right, especially if you are making billions of dollars, it makes sense to move out of India because even if you want to pay tax, there's no clarity, right? How much tax you have to pay, when you have to pay, and with your company, you cannot pay your employees in crypto. So all those questions, just take that out, right? Create a remote setup, right? Be out of India, but work out for a Dubai company, right? You will have everything sorted. I think so. Even today, if there's going to be someone who is going to be building a DEX or something, right, where there's no need to be based out of India, I would say get out of India if you can, right, and do the same thing because see, in my 8 years of journey, I had to think a lot about what regulators will think, what kind of complaints I need to build, and I had less time in building the product, right? Or we had to spend a lot of time in building the payment interfaces, right? More than 20, 30 payment aggregators we would have changed in the last 7, 8 years, right? We have to keep working on that. So then, when we can innovate, right? How can we be better than
Right.
offshore exchange, Binance, right? See, the advantage that these guys had was they could always think regulation or the complaint as the last step, right? Not as the first step. So that way, I think starting out of India, there's a huge disadvantage because 30% of the time at least is taken away thinking about regulations. Probably for Anuj, more than 80% of his time is going to be just about thinking about regulations, talking to regulators, because technology-wise, it's not going to be a huge problem, right? Building it. But getting this acceptance, thinking about the legal aspects, especially in a gray area, it's going to take not just your time, but also a lot of bandwidth because when you sleep, you think about how do I convince it, right? And you have to talk to a regulator who doesn't understand crypto about all these things, right? So that is where I think we are.
We are losing out
So
on the game. I mean, it's the
we are
sound
losing out on the game.
ecosystem, which, yeah. I
I think
mean, there
India
are a lot
will
of,
eventually catch up. Yeah.
again, a catch up game, just like
Yes.
those social media companies, right?
Yes. We have
Right.
to.
Because
There's
the
no
whole,
choice.
right now, the whole game, like if you see, it's shifting towards the stable coins. We've seen the laws passed. We have this man, Anuj, here, whom I've also worked with. He's worked in public policy, is cautious of certain detailings in the government. He's building something which is going to be potentially very sound, probably in the near future. Shouldn't the fraternity be backing him up? And government should probably give him some sandboxes or experimental things to, I don't know what, to be, kind of toying around with so that he can build something better, provided he does not run away to Dubai. And yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'll be very fair, kind of, because most of the founders, as Arjun said, Arjun has not given up, which indeed is a very good thing. But most of them have given up and they have gone down to Dubai or probably Lithuania or probably CHLs. But there's a reason also, right? Because if the ecosystem is not backing you up, then what the hell are you going to do?
See, I would say like we had to be based out of India because we are solving this INR problem, right? We need to have bank accounts in India, right? Otherwise, we would also have moved out, right? It makes no sense. But we know that this is the critical problem that we are solving, and we have to be based out of here, right? So I am very very clear on that, and I think uh, I have worked with government in my previous companies. The thing about government is you're not what to say appreciated for doing good things, but you're penalized for doing bad things, right? So in a way, people promote inaction, right? You are better off sitting on the files rather than saying an yes, because someone will ask, who asked you to say yes? Who asked you to approve this? Right? This is going to create so if something happens, right, that person might lose a job or he might get depromoted. If something positive happens out of it, he's not going to get any personal benefits, right? So most of the government bureaucracy, the way they think is they should not take even 1% risk. because they are not going to earn profit out of Anuj's company or my company, right? So that is why I'm saying top down is the only approach works, right? It makes no sense convincing
I've
the
been I've
bureaucrats.
been I've been
They're just
seeing
doing
a
the job.
lot of videos about of Sabir Bhatia. I think it all is proving to be truth in our Web3 sphere also, right? I don't know if you've seen his videos, but he's also talking about innovation, and I think probably it's all seeming to be so truth right now in the given industry that we are in. We're talking about. There's not much of a courage and kind of innovation which should come from the government's end. I'm saying there's a fault in our own industry as well, but at the same time you need a backup, right? You need some sound experimental things, right? If we have to
Yeah.
push the envelope further. So
So I
that's
think I'll answer your previous question, like when it comes to support, from where I'm getting support as of now. So particularly the major support that I'm receiving from my existing blockchain, that Cardano. I received a handsome grant initially uh, that helped me to hire developers, registered my company, created a website, created 4 research reports uh, using that money, and still like that's I'm being paid like 60% of it, 40% is still there. That is, I'm expecting to receive and register my company in FIU, right? So that this kind of support without diluting your equity, right? It's very rare. I've already been in talks with Aptos, Polygon, but I don't see they are like as afraid as Arjun was before we started talking about INR stablecoin. The RBI will ban it. RBI won't allow it. So, so this is what I am fighting for. So, Arjun, Archit, has been more than 3 years with this idea. More than 3 years. I literally wrote my first white paper back then in 2022, right? The first time I took it to IBW, no, everyone said, hey, RBI will ban it by the very first day. I reached out to a couple of VCs. They said, hey, no, the government wouldn't allow it. What the heck? Why people are still using USDC and USDT in this country, right? Despite not having a company
absolutely,
registered here, right?
absolutely,
This is very weird. If you're from India, like
yeah,
trying to make business, it would be
yeah.
very difficult, right?
But it
It
was
would be very
WazirX, right, Arjun? It was WazirX which started INR. I remember firmly in 2019. I think it was WazirX which started
the
the
first
INR.
trade pair with the
Yeah, I bought my first. I remember I bought
INR with
Ethereum in.
what?
Zappe, I guess.
I don't. I'm
Zappe
kind
was
of.
doing the INR backed pair trading.
Yeah, that is bad. So trading wise, I think CoinX came. So there was a company called CoinSecure. I'm
Yeah,
not sure if you heard of it. So
yeah.
2017, CoinSecure was an exchange, but it was a very weird exchange in the sense they used
Mahin
to
also
have.
did some experiments in the very beginning because I think he was there
No,
right
no.
at the
I'll tell you
top.
how this happened, right? I'll explain how the ecosystem
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
So before 2016, 17, there was just Unocoin and Zeppay, and there it's like almost like how Coin Switch used to be, right? You can only buy or sell from them. It was like a brokerage kind of thing. The spread was there, right? You buy from them at 50,000, but when you sell, you have to sell it at 35,000. There will be like a 10-15% spread. Then there was an exchange called CoinSecure, but the problem was they used to take weekdays off. When there is a Holi or something, there'll be like 4 days off. The exchange will be closed. You cannot do anything. So then I think in August 2017, that is when we were thinking of starting an exchange. Is when there was an exchange called CoinX, KOINEX, right? And they launched 5 coins, right? So and earlier in Unocoin Zepe there was only one coin available, Bitcoin, right? And there are a few other companies, XRP India, BTC India, but most of them they ended up in some kind of a fraud or something. So CoinX launched a proper order book based exchange, and they had like 5 tokens. I still remember like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, and I think BCH was also there, right? So then I think end of December 2017 is when all the things started mushrooming. We had like Geotas, WazirX, BitBNS, CoinDCX. They all came between the 2017 to 2018 April, and then again 2018 RBI created the circular where they said we cannot have banking access, and a lot of the other platforms are also there, which I don't name right now. There are like around 30-40 companies building exchange of sort, and they all kind of shut shop. And these are these platforms that remained. Coinex shut shop after the RBI circular, right? So actually, incidentally, when Anuj says the story, I'm thinking in 2017, I thought, okay, in 2-3 years, Indian government is going to regulate crypto. At that point of time, they're not going to allow new players to come into this picture. And we as an existing entity will have an advantage in getting the license and everything, and we severely underestimated the government, right? It's 8 years now and we are still saying maybe 1 year to regulations, 18 months to regulations. So yeah, never ever underestimate the government's speed of regulations. Yeah.
Yeah. But besides Anuj, I don't think there is an INR stablecoin startup who's somebody who's starting an INR stablecoin.
Earthbit was there was a company called Earthbit
Long
or
time back.
some
Long,
a long time
they
back.
stopped. I checked their thing.
Mahadao,
They
Mahadao,
stopped
something,
their
something.
operations long time back. So, like, there are few they tried, right? But obviously, it needs both. Like,
Hey,
when
but
you're building INR,
Anuj, what chain are you going to make this stablecoin on?
so yeah, so that's an interesting question. So it's gonna be multi-chain for sure, right? So mostly stable coins you have seen that they are multi-chain. So my focus would be somewhere like using Cardano and Polygon, Solana. So these are chain where I can like start with, and Aptos also I discussed about it with Aptos team. So like I'm gonna be multi-chain with this product, and not a particular chain I'm looking at, not Ethereum though, because of the transaction fee again, not that stable. So the having a transaction fee, stable transaction fee would help you, right? Uh, so I believe that Polygon would help in that case, speed and security, Solana and Cardano. So these are the like few chains that still like I'm working on. So Cardano and Polygon I'm already exploring.
I think probably India has to push into India stablecoin. I think because I mean either you go China way to ban all the crypto and just go on digital this our coin, or I think probably they should take in key inputs from Anuj or the fraternity and then probably kind of get about it.
Ban is not the option, what I believe. Ban is out of the options now. It's
Arjun's
been
heart is
long.
beating, I know, but I don't want that.
No, no, it's
but,
okay.
The
but it's an
only
open
option
discussion
like
because
yeah,
we need to get out of this rut. I mean,
yeah.
so that he could
See,
sleep
to be
peacefully, right?
honest, right, I'm with Anuj in the sense like for me it was like let government not ban it. The longer Bitcoin survives, the longer crypto survives, it becomes more difficult to ban because more people are exposed, more countries have come up with crypto regulations. The longer it, so 2013 or 15 or 16, they would have easily banned crypto. Hardly anyone knew crypto at that point of time. There was not even a huge, what to say, there would be people who are crying on the sidelines, but it would have been a very small population, right? We would not have had ads running in IPL campaigns. We would not have so much exposure to crypto. They would not have seen this crypto going to 1 crore, right? So those was not there in 2016, 17, 18 and all. So it would have been easily banned at that point of time. They did not. I was very glad. I know the longer they take, it's going to be the answer that I am expecting, right? So it's going to get regulated and regulated in a much better manner. Probably a regulation that came 3 years back would have been a little bit more stricter, right? They would have been like very specific. They allow only Bitcoin, not other. So all those things could have been possible. So the longer they wait, it is forcing them to only do what US or Europe has done, right? So of course, right, it's very easy to sleep to run business if there is a regulation on the top. But of course, as long as they are not banning it, I'm very happy, right? And I know eventually they are going to regulate. So of course, in order of priority, I think for most of the people in the ecosystem, this is it, right? Full regulations, no regulation, ban, right? That is the order of priority.
Okay, gentlemen, I think Arjun, I need to now stop it up. I know you were just about to get up. So thanks so much, both of you. And I pray that you guys have success and sooner good regulations come in so that you can sleep peacefully. And Anuj doesn't run to Dubai. And yeah, and creates an Indian stablecoin, which probably I can also use. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Better implies different. Okay, it's impossible to do anything or to make anything better unless you do it differently. Clear, okay? Not the other way around, okay? The arrow doesn't go backwards. Now, it's the different that implies courage. When something's different, it's a heck of a gamble. And so, if better implies different and different implies courage, better implies courage. You have to have the courage to be different. You can never do anything better unless it's different. That is an impossibility.